Alright, we should be live. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. First in the house today is Craig Lilly. What up, Craig? We got Techie Tech. We got KL130. Pretty small group right now, which is cool. It's more intimate like that. But how you guys doing? Hey, what up, Jensen? Yo, what's good? I muted the shorts, so I'm still scrolling. Yeah, shorts, man. When I go to YouTube now, every time I try to look for something, I hate that YouTube defaults to like showing me a bajillion shorts before it shows me long form. Let me see if I can do an example right now. Let's see. Yeah. Go wait. Like if I type in graphics card. Oh, it's actually not too bad right now. It's a decent mix. Can you guys see? So, it has Jay's video up top, but then there's 4 shorts, and then a video, and then some shorts. Sometimes when I look something up, it's just like so many shorts before it shows me long form. I wish it defaults to long form, and then you have to switch it over to the shorts tab. YouTube shorts are pretty annoying. I think they have their place, but I think it's being pushed in like our faces way too much right now, which I don't know if it's the trying to compete with TikTok thing or if it's just because people just have no attention spans these days. But yeah, I don't like the trend that's going, and it's not just because like I'm not a YouTube Shorts content creator primarily. I'm like on and off with it. I can't figure out what I want to do with the YouTube Shorts thing, but just when I'm searching for stuff, I don't like how it's now become pretty default. Yo, what's up, D4K? What up, man? Stan. Chin, could he tell? Chin, who is Chin? Could he tell us about the DLSS and FSR improvement or scam? How could it even be a scam? I guess I want to hear from you because you mentioned it being a scam. Did you read on? If you read anywhere online where people are just, if you see people saying that ray tracing, upscaling, frame generation, anyone calling those things a scam, those people are like anti-progressive in the tech space. You can like have certain opinions about it, but saying it's a scam, I don't know about that. Like you cannot prefer it, sure, but yeah, I wouldn't go as far as calling those features scams. The way that Nvidia, I guess it doesn't help how Nvidia is using it to kind of manipulate their numbers and their marketing. That still doesn't make it a scam. That just makes it like deceptive on Nvidia's part. But the technology itself, I think is fine. I have no issues with them. I use them, so. They removed it, or it was a long time ago, but they made one. Yeah, that's a difficult thing about it, where if you're trying to find, especially your YouTube shorts from any of the creators that pump out so many, by this point, you know, they've got way more shorts than they do have long form content, so it's harder to find. And like searching for it, again, it's a huge mess. Just built the 9950 X3D and 9070 XT all in white. It's beautiful, says Jay Beers. You have a picture of it? Are you in the Discord? If you're in the Discord, you can post it in. Oh, is this it right here? No, this is 3 days ago. What is this? Nope, this is a different person. But if you want to show off your build, we do have a section of the Discord channel where you can showcase and list the specs and all that stuff. Talk about pricing if you want. But yeah, people post their stuff here. And you can give other people inspiration and things like that. And it's just cool to look at. How are the twins doing? They're doing good. I think they're napping right now. I feel like every single Wednesday when you guys ask me, I'm like, it was a rough night. Because last night was a rough night. And then even this morning, yeah, I don't know. babies are unpredictable, and there's nothing that you could do to like make them, behave a certain way. They just are gonna be like that at such a young age, until they develop more of like a personality and can get on a sleep schedule and all things like that. Right now, they're completely random. They were not sleeping. They're fussing despite being like held, fed, diaper changes, all that last night. I did not eat until just 30 minutes ago. So my first meal today was at 4:30 p.m. Just because I was so tired and constantly changing their diapers and feeding and taking care of them. And it was 10 pizza rolls and some of these Frito bag of chips. So that's how my life is going right now. Just trying to get through it. But thanks for asking. I appreciate it. What's your thoughts on the new 50 Super Leaks? Oh, we can actually take a look at that. Video cards. Is Stang in the house? I'm curious how Stang's doing because his newborns are even more newborn. I think we're at 2 weeks, 1.5 to 2 weeks for his babies. So I'm curious how he's roughing it. But let me see. I see super cards. I thought I saw. Let me bring up the Super 50 series Super. I feel like it's kind of early to release super cards. No. Like, didn't those just come out? Oh, I guess we're in July now. But still, it feels like it's only been 6 months. Super Series. What's the latest article? Yeah. So I heard about the leaks. I don't know if there's that much information. We can take a look at that once we get started. Don't want to get too much into the tech news until people make their way to the stream. Did I get a 50-50 yet? No. They're not available in the US right now, but I saw also on, was it Tom's or somewhere, that the 50-50 does seem to be available in other parts of the world. It just doesn't look like it's in the US yet. I don't know if I'm going to buy one. Like, it's essentially it looks like it's going to be a $250 4060, which I don't think that's the worst value in the world. There has been worse cards, but I don't know if there's anything like worth like really taking a look at it and right now funds are kind of tight. 2 babies are very expensive to take care of, whether it be just diapers and clothes and formula, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if I'll grab a 50-50. It is really looking like a 4060 refresh almost. My mom just started YouTube. I put all her videos as shorts and she got over 4,000 views since Sunday. Nice. Yeah, shorts is the way to go right now. I've seen way more channels blow up overnight, or at least in a short amount of time with shorts than long form. So yeah. What up, Reluctant Hero? Water events I have a 11700K. I need to upgrade, but I don't know what to. Need faster compile time, 9900X maybe. You need faster compile times for what program specifically? And 11700K, you would have been on DDR4, so that's like a full platform upgrade. If you need faster compile times, depending on the program, definitely look into the benchmarks for it because yeah, I think that's gonna be a kind of a pricey upgrade. Grabbing like current gen Ryzen 9, a motherboard for it, and replacement RAM. That's gotta run closer to $400 or $500. So yeah, definitely looking to see if it's beneficial for what you're doing. Because without knowing, I can't really comment on that. The 50-50 needs to be 200. I agree. Even 225. Like at this low of a price, going even down to 225 from 250, that's like a 10% cut. But they're kind of working off of the fact that you can't easily buy 4060s anymore. At least I don't think you can. Let me take a look again. We're starting to get to the point where there's so many viable graphics cards that, see, so like if you wanted the 4060, even at $300, which a lot of people don't think that's good value, you can't anymore. So it's kind of being a replacement for it. But Nvidia knows this, so they're like, there's no other card at $300. Well, there's technically the 9060 XT 8GB. So that's why they probably had to knock it down to 250 instead of keeping it at 300. 9060 XT 8GB you can find for relatively, right here. Here's a Reaper model for 300. Huh. 3.5-star reviews. What do you think the next generation of NVMe hard drive? You mean SSDs? What the next gen is? Honestly, I don't think you should worry about the next gen NVMe's because they're going to be too expensive and way too fast for you to even know what to do with, unless you are like working in a professional environment where like you're working with 8K footage or like tons of data at once, and you're like transferring things back and forth for like boot up times, game loading time, just going around Windows, dicking around. Gen 3 NVMe SSDs are fine. Right now, it doesn't really make too much sense to buy Gen 3s unless you can get them used or at a discount, because Gen 3 and Gen 4 are close enough in price that you should just get a Gen 4. And Gen 4 speeds, for everything 99% of PC gamers do, is viable. So, you have a $700 budget for motherboard? Yeah. What are you compiling? I'm curious. Gen 6 drives are a year off, and even when they come out, they're going to be so stupid expensive, it's not going to make sense. Let me take a look real quick at, let's see. 1 terabyte Gen 5 NVMe. Oops. 1 terabyte Gen 5. So you wanted a Gen 5 NVMe SSD. So this is Gen 4. Yeah, so Gen 5 is like 175% of the price of a Gen 4, because you can get, actually no, it's 150%, because a typical Gen 4 NVMe drive right now is about $60 for 1 terabyte. So here's the PNY Gen 5 one for 90. Here's one from Corsair that's even more than that. So at least a 50% markup, and you're not going to realize at least 50% of the gains for most people. I can't speak for everybody, but for most people, if you don't know if you can benefit from it, then you're probably not someone who's going to benefit from it. I wish you could find one. Yeah, I've tried looking for specific YouTube shorts, Techie Tech. It is difficult with how much there is out there. And it's annoying. If you put like Toasty Bros favorite YouTube channel short, it'll still give you other channels that's not Toasty Bros. Like, my goodness, YouTube, can you like, you're part of parent company Google, how can you not like optimize the search when I'm looking only for a specific channel's content with these keywords? But yeah. All right, let me get caught up in chat. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I'm going way too slow. 1660 Super or 1070? I would probably go with the 1660 Super. They're very similar in performance, but let me take a look real quick. I think it was the 1660 Ti that is for sure better than the 1070, but the Super, I think, is close enough. And I would, when you're getting into cards this old, you're starting to look at like the actual usable life span of the part. Like a 1070, if someone had used it most of its life, came out, what, 2016? So you're talking about a 9-year-old graphics card. I would get the thing that's like 7 years old instead of 9. I forget when the 1660 Super came out, but you get the point. And slightly longer driver support and stuff like that. Where is the hierarchy? The old one. Oh, the legacy one. Okay. Where's the image? Here it is. I think this one should have it. Okay, we are taking a look at 1660 Super. Yeah, I would get the 1660 Super. I mean, this is just one source. I don't remember if all the reviewers found the 1660 Super to be higher than the 1070, but yeah. Just wait till they reach the terrible 2s, Danny. I know. Hello, congratulations, Danny. Thank you, Tenmei. I appreciate it. Oh, I'm not Chinese. I I am Asian, but not Chinese. Nationality Philippines. A lot of people do guess Philippines. I don't talk about my ethnicity too much, but I have before, and it is out there in the world. So, what up, Robert? Fix it. I feel like 50/50 is not really going to be interesting to anyone in the DIY space. Seems like a card designated for budget gamer tree built you find at Best Buy. That's good. Good point. Yeah, it'll be for like the moms and dads and grandmas and uncles who are looking to buy a birthday present for their younger PC gamer, and they're looking for something and they don't want to spend a fortune on it. So like, all right, $250. This is like the newest thing, or at least the newest generation. And on Amazon, it's likely gonna. Let me take a look at the reviews or ratings of like the RTX 3050, which, if you ask the enthusiast space, was not a good card. But yeah, they'll go to Amazon and they'll be like, oh yes, the 5050 has like 4.5 stars, like thousands of reviews and sales. It should be fine. Yeah, the 3050, if you ask like an enthusiast or someone who's like more well versed and knowledgeable about it, they would have probably not rated it 4.5 star average. So yeah, the 5050 is gonna have its place. Staying 207. Yo, sorry I'm late. Finally bringing the baby home from the NICU. Man, that seems like, what is that? That's over a week in the NICU, right? Are you home yet, or are you going to be? Have you just been at the hospital all this time staying? Hope you're doing well. Have you had your sleepless nights yet? Our nights when we were in the hospital because of Melissa's C-section was they were all sleepless. My goodness. You can't post for 6 hours. That's weird. Can you post in the general chat? I did not realize we had a. Let me see. Can you post in general? Not that. Where is the... Where's the announcements? Oh, new members. Okay. So I think I see you in here. But it says you can't post anything? Let me take a look at the settings. Let me look at the server settings real quick. Server settings. Server settings. Okay. Posting. Oh, it might just be a part of the safety thing. Raid protection. No. People, members, integration, safety. Oh, spam protection. Member must meet a criteria. Must have a verified phone. Okay, that's not it. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about being able to change the timer for posting. Is an i7 7700 and GTX 1660 Ti good? I mean, it's old. You can game on it, but those parts are a little bit on the older side. This like i7 7700 1660 Ti, that would be like a $350 $400 budget build. Probably a little bit cheaper than that if you can find good deals on it. But if you just went on eBay and went on average prices and built a system with these in it, it'll probably be around $350 to $400. So you can game at 1080p, probably fine. Probably not going to be pushing more than like 45 60 FPS unless you're playing esports, which then you'll pump hundreds of FPS. But these specs, I mean, you're talking about, stuff that's like, the processor is like what? How many years old by this point? Like 8 years old? And then the graphics card is like 7-ish. So, I need a faster NVMe drive because I can't wait an extra 10 seconds for Fortnite to load. And then when you load, you gotta wait for everybody else to load in anyways. Any thoughts on Team Group M.2s? I installed a bunch of them and none have broke. Yeah, I like Team Group M.2s. My latest video, I used a Team Group M.2 G50. But yeah, no, Team Group, I like. Their RAM, their SSDs, I like that they're always some of the most competitively priced RAM and SSDs out there. And I've worked with them before too. But sponsor aside, I think their products are good and priced well. He did post it. Okay, let me take a look. Did it work? Let's take a look. Oh, here it is. Okay. We got it. We got J Beers. So there wasn't a 6-hour limit. Sorry, I'm getting caught up with the chat. Let's take a look at this build. Latest all-white build. Oh, we got a video with it too. All right. Okay, wait. Let's look at the specs. 9070XT. Is that the Hellhound? It is the Spectral White Hellhound, which I actually have. I have one sitting back there, but it's not a 9070XT. It's a 7800XT. Well, all right. Let's take a look at this thing. Oh, you didn't put the case and all the rest of the specs, but it's okay. So you have an MSI, so super white everything. Where's the arrows, huh? Oh, so here's the different color schemes. You have some unifans in there. Let's look at the video. That's a clean white build. Looks like you went for the non-RG. Is that the Team Group T-Create white RAM or what? Which RAM? No, oh, it is the T-Create. Okay. Yes, I recognize the perforated design on that. Looks like your power supply also came with white cables, so you didn't have to buy any sleeved extensions. Though, I mean, wait up. Which you have a 9950 X3D? Was there not? It looks like you've only plugged in one of your 8-pin EPS to your motherboard. This is for CPU power. I mean, it usually most motherboards and CPUs run fine just plugging one in. It's just usually higher if you're doing like overclocks or using higher end chips that draw more power. That could benefit from plugging this one in too. And since you have a Ryzen 9, I would think that you would want to plug this one in. But yeah, very clean looking build though. Okay, let's look at this 50 Super news. So, this broke what, a few days ago? NVIDIA is expected to follow up the current lineup of the Super refreshes posted by a reliable leaker on Twitter. At least 3 new models: the 5070 Super, 5070 Ti Super, and 5080 Super. These look to be pretty safe bets for inclusion. Frequent. Okay. Oops. Sorry, wrong screen. Rumored preliminary specifications. The substantial jump. First of all, this is kind of a slap in the face, isn't it? Anyone who did buy the previous versions, because let's see what they're saying. 5070 Super is set to feature, okay, GB205, 4% more than the existing CUDA cores, so that's not going to be much, but where's the VRAM? 18 gigabytes of GDDR7 compared to the 12 existing gigabytes, so that's a third, no, that's a 50% jump. An additional 6 gigabytes. And not even a year after release. I don't know when these are going to come out, but seems like kind of, what would the price be though? I guess if they're really expensive, then that's fine. But if they come in like just $50 over a non 5070 Super, that's kind of a slap in the face to the people who quote unquote invested in one of these that's supposed to last them the upcoming years, and now you're just gonna release one with way more VRAM. Some PSUs don't have that connection though. I am almost positive whatever PSU is in this system, granted, you know, being that it did have white cables already and it's powering a 9070 XT and Ryzen 9, I am positive there should be a secondary connector here. We're only talking about like the lowest of the low end, bottom of the barrel, like discount bin power supplies that usually don't have two connectors. So hey, what up, Zach? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Let's see what else we got for the. Okay, here we go. So 24 gigs of RAM up from 16. It's kind of strange. 5070 Super is gonna have 2 more gigabytes of VRAM than the 5080, which again, I'm not someone who is super like critical of the amount of VRAM graphics cards have. Like 5080 16 gigabytes. I guess at that price, it would have been nicer to see it have a little bit more. But like the 5070 at 550 with 12 gigs, I wasn't gonna make as big of a stink about it as a lot of other reviewers did. But it seems so strange, these numbers now. The 5070 Super, which should come in a decent amount slower than the 5070 Ti, because that's how it usually works. Supers, I don't remember. I don't think there's any super cards that have ever beaten a Ti of the equivalent, you know, model. But yeah, it's gonna come in a little bit worse, but still beat out like all these other cards that have the 16 gigs. Can we get a true successor to the 7900 XTX? Was it last week's stream? What were people talking about? AMD's rumored, or maybe I saw that on Reddit. People are thinking there's gonna be like a 9080 XT, which let me see if there was any articles about that, because I don't think that's gonna happen at all. Rumor suggesting 1 month ago. Rumor suggesting 9080 XT. Is there anything more recent though? Supercars are what they were supposed to be from the beginning. I'm not gonna argue with you there. It does seem kind of strange to have so many, I guess, SKUs, and released in such a short amount of time. I feel like in previous years they would wait like 1 year and then do the quote unquote refresh. These are just rumors. We don't know when they're gonna come out, but like what was the release date for the? Because 5070 came out a little bit later than the 5080. So in March, right? We're only 4 months away from when the 5070 came out. So we'll see when the Supers actually come out. Because these could just be early rumors. Okay, is there any June? Rumor has it AMD's planning 9080 XT. So this would be kind of like what you're saying, the proper successor to a 7900 XTX. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think AMD, they clearly, was it a year ago? They stated like direct from their mouths themselves. This wasn't just like rumors or anything like that. They stated that they were gonna focus more on the mid-range kind of segment, and 9070 XT, you could argue it's not it's like an upper mid-range card or entry level into the higher tiers. But I think they announced that knowing that they've kind of hit the limitations of the physical silicon. I have a 4070 Super, only 12 gigabytes of VRAM. What would you suggest is a good upgrade? I don't want... I'm guessing it'll have to be a 5080. When did you get your 4070 Super? I feel like, yeah, you're gonna have to spend quite a bit of money to get a reasonable upgrade, especially since that card's not even, what is that, like a year and a half old now? January 2024? Yeah, so it's a year and a half old card. I don't know if you bought it right on release or what, but if I had a 4070 Super, I would probably hold on to it until next gen. Unless you are like dying to play at 4K. 4070 Super should do 1440p fine. Maybe not in like Indiana Jones or something ridiculous like that. But you can always turn down the settings. Yeah, I think for a big enough jump, a 5070 Ti is actually a pretty big jump because it's closer to a 5080 than it is a 5070. But still, I feel like the 4070 Super is still pretty capable. Unless you just have like money to burn, then do it. Or like, what are your reasons for wanting to upgrade from a 4070 Super so fast? Yeah, I love the GPU. I'm just thinking about upgrading, not sure. No. Okay. I'm going to be the voice of reason. You don't even know if you need to upgrade. Then do not upgrade. The time you upgrade is when you're playing a video game and you're just like, oh my god, I can't stand these lower graphic settings, or I can't stand playing only at 1440p, or like, oh, it's stuttering too much, or it's not getting smooth, buttery frame rate. Do not be influenced by what you're seeing on YouTube and on Reddit or wherever the heck, trying to convince you that you need the latest, greatest hardware all the time. Because you got that graphics card, it hasn't even been a year and a half. For most people who aren't rich, they use their new graphics card that they bought for at least a few years, especially if it's something that was like the tier of a 4070 Super. If you got like a 4060, then yeah, upgrading really quickly after makes more sense. But again, it's all up to, you know, how much money you have to spend. But if you do want to do an upgrade, I think a 5070 Ti would be the bare minimum I would do. I wouldn't cut it off from the potential upgrade list though, because those again are quite a step up from the 5070, closer to 5080, except more readily available and a little bit cheaper. Danny, do you think that in the years to come they will sell a 64 gig, 128, 256 gig GPUs? Because yeah, I remember. I think my first graphics card was 64 megabytes. But no, will it keep scaling up like that? We've talked about this previously, and I think we either pulled up like some kind of ridiculous futuristic graphics card or something, but I don't know. I would say 64, like for consumer grade, right? Because I think there are graphics cards that already have this much VRAM, but they're just not, you know, stuff that typical people buy. I don't know if I can see it getting up to like 256. By then, I don't know if there's gonna be like some kind of like revolution in terms of the hardware and like just the technology itself that we move towards something else. But too hard to predict. That's definitely like just based on how we've been scaling in the last, let's say 10 years ago, we already had 8 gigs and we're still using 8 gig cards. We've kind of slowed down. I think in terms of how much VRAM we're going to have on a card, there's an article recently actually that NVIDIA is making improvements. Was it to DLSS or just the drivers itself? But it's becoming more efficient with the use of video memory, so you get more capability out of it, right? So it's kind of like what upscaling and frame generation and stuff is doing like that. I think eventually you're gonna hit like physical limitations of what you can fit on a board, unless we just completely change the shape of graphics cards and how they're installed and stuff like that. But it might just be ways to like driver side, BIOS side, software side to optimize the existing amount of VRAM. I don't foresee it going like just, you know, infinitely increasing. So I guess it's not needed. You're right. I should wait for 6th generation because I'm broke. If you're broke, do not think about upgrading your 4070 Super. Upgrading from a 4070 Super right now in 2025 is like you have money to play around with type of situation. But it is still a very viable card. Don't let the doomers like scare you into thinking 12 gigabytes of VRAM isn't enough right now. Actually, let's take a look at what my first... So my first GPU was a MX... It was an MX400 series graphics card. I don't know if it was the MX400, 440, or 420. Okay. See, I don't know if they made a 64 megabyte version, but the first, like, actually no, I probably had a when the first graphics card that I can remember the specs of, I should say, because we've had a family computer for as long as I can remember, but I didn't get into like opening up the computer and trying to like upgrade it and stuff until around 2004, and it's all related to World of Warcraft. That's when I got into computers because I wanted my PC to run it well. But we had an MX. Let me look up MX440. I don't remember. It might have been this one. What year was this? February 2002 release. Okay, so yeah, I think if I had to bet on it, this was the first graphics card that I could remember that we had in our computer when I started tinkering around with our family computer at home. So yeah, 64 megabytes, which is kind of crazy. And then the first one I bought myself was the, I think, 1 gigabyte 2080. Or 280, not 2080. Which versions of this did they have? Did they have a 1.5 gigabyte VRAM version? Or was it 1 gigabyte and then like 768? My memory is failing me. I have this card still, but yeah. So those are some of my earliest graphics cards and how much VRAM they had. Dude, I think the AMD, yes, the 6800 is still very good. The bad thing is, and I talked about it in the latest video, is the pricing kind of sucks for them. Unless you can find it for much cheaper, just get the 9060 XT, which was my recommendation in the video. Let's see. If we go to working version, so it's gonna be used. Yeah, so that's a 6800. Why you do this to me every time eBay? Yeah, so you can't find a 6800 for, because this one has $50 delivery. But let me see if there's anything wrong with this one. Condition is used, tested, dive, immersive, guards design. Okay, so it looks like this thing works fine. But if you look at the price, like if I were to buy this right now, $310 plus 40 delivery, so that's essentially $350. I could just get a 9060 XT for the same price. But then the prices quickly go up on them, and this is used, and it's out of warranty, and it doesn't have FSR4. So unless you can find, let's say, one for flat, I don't know, $300 or less, and you're not paying tax on it because you're picking it up locally. Because on eBay you pay taxes too, so you don't save on buying used there. So, sir, 9060 or RTX 5 series for my new computer in a few weeks. 9060 XT is kind of 16 gigabyte version, is kind of like the easy answer for PC advice right now. Unless you specifically need ray tracing like capabilities, or you need NVIDIA's RTX Studio and those like streaming stuff that they have and the AI built in, then I would say 9060 XT is the way to go, without giving it much thought. Do you think the RTX 3080 is a good price right now in the used market? So I picked one up, and it's gonna be in a video actually. For 330, I believe. It's an interesting card because I think most 3080s you're gonna find in the used market are gonna be the 10 gigabyte versions, but they're very powerful cards. So it's the question of, do you want the powerful card with less VRAM, or the less powerful card like the 9060 XT with more VRAM, right? So let's take a look at these. They're going for, usually in working condition. Let me see. Used. Hello? Are you not updating? Stop showing me parts only. Used. Okay, here we go. Now it's updated. 3080s are going for, so we're not gonna count any of these broken, busted ones. This is 2080 Super. It's not even a 3080. 3080, see, on eBay they're going for like 350. But if we look at the charts, how much more powerful are they than? So this one is the 10 gigabytes of VRAM one. If we're gonna compare it to, where's the 9060 XT? A 9060 XT 16 gigabytes comes in. Let's just be more conservative about it. Let's just say this is like a even 80%, so 20% slower, but it has 6 more gigabytes of VRAM. I would say the 3080 is worth it if you can get it for closer to $300. This after tax is close to $400 and delivery. I was able to pick mine up locally, so I didn't pay tax, I didn't pay shipping, and it was $330. At that price, I thought it was a pretty good deal. This was also before the 9060 XT came out. Now you got to ask yourself, how important do you think VRAM is going to be in the future? I'm actually going to do a video testing side by side the 16 gigabyte 9060 XT versus a 10 gigabyte 3080, and trying to see, because I think the 3080 in most cases is still going to beat it out the 9060 XT, but people are so obsessed with VRAM that I'm very curious to see what the comments of that video is going to be about. Yeah, I'm trying to, well, I got to get the video out of me picking it up first, which I'm trying to get it out this weekend. But yeah, I don't know. Like, when you're paying $300 to like $350 for a graphics card, are you really looking to play at 1440p ultra settings at like hundreds of FPS? I feel like for the price that it is, a 10 gigabyte 3080 could still be worth it, even with the less VRAM. Is, again, you're not paying like $500, $600, $700 for a card. You're paying for a $300 ish, depending on what you get it for. I think it's fine. I'm gonna try to, in that video, test in scenarios in games that like push VRAM usage, and we'll see. I don't know. Even we've talked about this in previous streams. I feel like people out there would rather pick a 12 gigabyte 3060 than an 8 gigabyte 3070, which to me makes 0 sense. Games gotta start running on CPU and not so heavily on GPUs. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, no. You get the graphics that you get specifically because of what's on the GPU and the architecture. There's no way. Danny forgot the mic is in his glasses. What happened? Did it have the rubbing sound, or did it just make the sound a lot further away? Is Redux worth buying from? I'm actually not sure. I have not looked at Build Redux for a long time. We can take a look though. Do I have anything else I want to talk about on the stream? Let's see, what are we talking about? So 50, the super stuff. Okay, one last thing. Let's wrap this up. Release date. Release date. Refresh. Let me just check. Okay, So just leaks, 0, nothing on date, right? Nothing on date. This is kind of like those clickbait rumor mill channels that talk about like 6000 series NVIDIA like right now. Like, okay, we know these are coming, but if they're not coming up in the near future, like in the next 6 months, then is it worth waiting for? All that jazz. I personally think no. Just get what you need to use right now, not 6 months from now, because 6 months from now, when those come out, people are going to be talking about the next generation of stuff. Oh, do we have Braythorn in the house? Wait. A wild Braythorn. Did I miss Braythorn? Oh, when I okay, yeah. When I googled Redux, I was about to say, if I miss him in the chat, I gotta say hi. All right, pre-built, save 400 off. What is this in reference to? Can't any company just like go and put save random amount off? Because if I did a PC part picker list of one of the builds, are they having a sale right now? Maybe it's because they're having a sale. Well, wait, was that save up to? Yes, the up to clause. Of course, you could save up to 400, or you could save, you know, only like $1. But let's take a look. Our build Redux worth it? Big discount. Click here. Exactly. If you're going for Blender, I'm not super knowledgeable about it. All I do is run the Blender benchmark just in case people care about it. But NVIDIA all the way. NVIDIA and Blender go hand in hand. It's just one of those advantages that, you know, whoever the company is that is behind Blender, they work closely with NVIDIA. It just performs like so much better. A low-end NVIDIA card performs better in Blender than a higher-end AMD card does. So, yeah. If you're doing like Blender, go NVIDIA. It's not even about, you know, fanboyism and team red, team green tribalism. It's just about AMD really, for the most part, like does really well in gaming, but in other more professional or niche workloads, they can't really compete. Look at that first system is DDR4. Yeah. But that doesn't mean everything that they have is bad. Who's asking about the Blender again? Or Redux? MS Tot. Depends on how much money you have to spend. The reason I ask because I got a Ryzen 5 3600 RTX. So you have a 3070. You're looking for something better. So you, okay. Building something for around $1,500 would get you something better. But, so let's see. You would want to go for like one of these two PCs with the 5070 or 5070 Ti. And we're going to sort by lowest price because that's, they're going to sell you a system. Well, let's take a look at the specs. This is $200 off normally. Let's see if we can find a pre-built that is a good upgrade from a 3600 and a 3070. So 5070, 13700F, 2 terabyte drive, 32 gigs of RAM, and then just their own. I think these are Cooler Master rebrand or relabeled stuff. $2,000 for this. I'm pretty sure I've seen 5070 pre-builds go for around $1,500. Let's look what NZXT has. And Skytech. Yeah, we can take a look at Skytech too. Skytech gaming PCs. Alright, so we're gonna look for a A 5070 would be a big enough upgrade. It'd be nice to get the 5070 Ti, but that's gonna drive the price up even more. I think at the right price, the 5070 is fine. Player 1. What are we looking at here? Player 1 Prime. 11 5060 Ti, 11400F. Okay, can we upgrade though? So this one, 5060 Ti. Oh, come on, NZXT. What are you doing? Why are you limiting this to 5060 Ti? Okay, let's take a look at the player 2. These start... Okay, $1,600. 5070, 9600X, 16 gigs of... 16 gigs? Bro, NZXT. Come on. And 1 terabyte of storage? Okay, I don't know if we're going to get a good enough system here. Oh my goodness. Alright, SkyTech. Let's see what you got. Pre-built gaming PCs. The most popular, you say. Code Freedom for the 4th of July. Which, by the way, 4th of July is coming in 2 days. Y'all have any plans for that? We are probably not going to be doing anything. Because it's kind of hard to do stuff with 2 newborns. And they are probably going to be startled by the fireworks that are going to be going on outside. Look, I get it. Fireworks are cool. They're fun. But I'm just an old fart now. I hate fireworks. Especially the jackasses who fire them into 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Like, I don't know. It's just, I'm okay with people having their fun. But when you start, like, disrupting other people, especially at those hours of the night, I'm just not for it. Like, I don't know. I think that's just being inconsiderate asshole. Like, in what does the amount of joy that loud fireworks and big colorful explosions in the sky bring you, does that balance out with the amount of like unhappiness and frustration that you bring to like the hundreds if not thousands of people in your surrounding area? I don't know. Again, I know I sound like a grumpy old man who hates fireworks, but that's just what I'm not looking forward to, especially as a dad to newborns that might just be woken up by them and give me a frustrating, difficult night. I'm all for fun, but not at the expense of others. Exactly! And fireworks, if you cut it off by midnight, then I'm cool with it. But we don't have those type of people. People just aren't like that. They just like setting them off like into the late hours of the night. Okay. Low to high. Let's see what we got. Just go to a fireworks show. Exactly. Go to a public place at the lake or at the whatever. Don't do it in the residential neighborhood, my God. Yes. I petition to build a micro center. Maybe I should start that petition. Micro center's gonna look at it and be like, we don't care about your damn position. We care about how expensive rent is and property is in the Seattle area. Man, I didn't even realize. I forgot SkyTech made builds this cheap. They do integrated with starting at $550, which is kind of crazy. Even though it doesn't have a graphics card in it, you could buy a $350 graphics card, throw it in here, and it's a $900 build. It starts you off with the 5600 GT, which is a little bit older, but given that they have to freaking build this dang thing, pack it up and ship it to you, it's kind of crazy how they can get the prices this low. But all right, let's take a look at. I'm trying to look for like a 1500 5070 build that doesn't completely suck. 9060 XT 8 gigabyte. Why would you do this, SkyTech? Does the US not have noise laws? In UK 11 p.m. you can call the police? You could probably call the police, but it's not going to do anything because they're going to be gone by the time the police get there. Or there's not enough to police the amount of jackasses firing off fireworks at 3 a.m. in the morning. And it's really hard to pinpoint where they're at, all that stuff. So yeah. I'm not saying they're doing it like right outside in front of my house, but they're doing it in the general area that is loud enough and heard for, you know, a long ways away. My God, SkyTech is... I would love to see the coding that goes into this because look, how do you have this many SKUs? These must be built to order. There's no way they can just carry like... They have a warehouse. Look, it's still going. It's loading still. Like, my goodness. SkyTech. I love you guys, but how is a beginner supposed to even start looking through this. Anyways, okay. We could filter it down by 5070s. Prices of pre-build is not a problem. If that's not the problem, then you can just bump up to. When you say the price is not a problem, I don't know what that means. Like, are you okay with spending $3,000? Everybody has a limit. Anytime asking for a PC build advice to anybody out there, whether you're asking it to me or some other content creator on Reddit or online to random strangers, don't try not to say price is not an issue, because if I throw a $7,000 PC at you, you're probably going to push back. So like, what is the realistic ceiling price that you want to try to stay below? Extreme Zone, I say my limit is 2K. Yeah, like everybody has a limit. Because otherwise, I'm just going to throw the most expensive PC at you and just call it done. Man, they got $2,000 bills still with 5070s. There is the cleanup of the fireworks. Yeah, people don't clean up their mess. People are just so inconsiderate. You ever go to the beach and like the trash cans are full? So instead of taking your trash away, people just keep piling it on, and they just straight up litter. Each individual pulling their trash away from the beach can do so much more than a single trash can is able to, or like staff at the beach to clean up. It's just, my God, is it that difficult to put all your wrappers away in a bag and take it with you? I don't know. People are just shitty, unfortunately. You shouldn't need to spend more than $1,200 for a gaming PC. I like that sentiment. I agree with you that when it comes down to it, if you're a real PC gamer, you should be able to enjoy gaming on a $1,200 PC. I understand. But people have disposable income. They want better graphics. They want better resolution. You know, they want all that kind of stuff. Higher, buttery, smooth frame rate. So you shouldn't need to. I guess that's true, but I guess we can't say you shouldn't want to. People can want whatever they want. I could do like 2 to 3K for a pre-built. See, we're gonna go to build the PC sales because Skytech, as much as I love them, actually no. This is what we do. You have 2 to 3K to spend. You could get a 5080 build. So what we do is we look at Skytech, and then we look at builds that are the lowest priced and see if there's anything reasonable. So they have a $2,600 build. 7800X3D. Okay, this is looking good so far. You could get in the King 95 7700X. Interesting between these two. So this has the better gaming processor. But let me see the full specs. Like, we just want to make sure they're not like screwing you over on the RAM and SSD and stuff. In decline, MS-TOT or MTSOT, Mount SOT. I'll build you a PC for 3K. The only issue is that they probably want a warranty and they probably want to buy it from a business that's like accredited and had a reputation. As much as, I don't know, I would struggle to just pay some random stranger 3K. Even with PayPal goods and services and all of that, I would struggle to do that unless I like knew them. But look, oh, okay, here we go. This build's actually for the price. Wait, starting at 2,600. So what's going on here? Well, let's see if it's real. 2,600. Okay, it starts at 2,600, but that's the specs. Wait, what's going on? Add to cart. This better not be a bait and switch. Skytech. Okay. This it. Wait. It didn't let me change anything. This one actually doesn't look like that bad of a deal, considering 5080s are already going for like 1,200. Starting at, interesting. Oh, this is just the Prism 3, I guess, because they have a bajillion different versions of it. Yeah, so 32 gigs of RAM. I mean, it's 5600 is fine. 2 terabyte Gen 4 SSD. They don't really list the exact models of the power supplies and stuff, but I would imagine they're using at least C tier power supplies, which is again, is fine. Wi-Fi. This one actually doesn't look bad, just from sorting by their lowest price stuff. You can pay for a longer warranty. Okay. Oh yeah, good point. I didn't put two and two together, Chris. Good looking out. Yeah, so if you put the 400 on there, then it becomes okay. Ain't nobody warranty. $400 in warranty. I don't know, man. Yeah, I've never been a warranty type of. Okay, I won't say that. Oh, after we wrap this up, I need to ask you guys. I'm about to buy not the cheapest, but a budget battery for my car, for my little old Yaris, and I want to get your guys' opinions. But let's face it up. C tier is not fine. They all use cheap garbage parts. You are so wrong. Tell me what about a C tier power supply, based on the two popular tier lists right now, is bad about it. Yeah, I want you to tell me specifically why it is bad. Sounds like a loaner warranty. Yeah, that warranty is crazy. I don't know. Some people, I mean, that warranty cost is what? 2600. That's like a sixth of the cost of the build. You keep on saying things like barely acceptable and things like that. What about these units are either going to damage your components or are going to fail prematurely or what? Or burn your house down or explode? It's funny because you would have to know that the majority of computers, even high-end computers out there, because there's so many people who buy pre-built and stuff, use way worse quality power supplies than even C-tier ones. And so many of them last so long. That's not to say that you should use crappy power supplies. Everyone has their own like thresholds of what they're okay with and comfortable with. I have built many computers for many people that I service and like repair and do all that stuff. And just based on that, my personal comfort zone for power supplies is C tier or above. Now, if you can afford to put in, obviously, a higher tier power supply, then you should. Most of these companies that are giving the better prices aren't listing what power supply they're using. And I think just based on what people, like when reviewers, like when Gamers Nexus and stuff covered them, they're not using the trashiest bottom tier power supplies. We can't say for sure until this thing is bought, but I think if you were to gamble, then I would say as long as it's C tier, I would be okay with it. Check Meta PCs. Meta PCs is one of the most expensive like pre-built out there. You're gonna risk 1,000 or more for 20. You're not Born Joker. You're not getting to like what I'm trying to say. What specifically about C tier power supplies is going to damage your computer? Do you just like read the tier list and just look at the tiers as they are, or have you looked at the actual how they get their rankings? And the ranking is just put together by members of the community. It's very subjective. If anything, you could say that they're a bit more on the conservative and stricter side. And in real world use cases, you're going to be you're going to be fine. Barely pass the testing to be acceptable. Okay, I can't continue with you. Custom PCs, all desktops. What you could do for this one, if you're worried about it, MTSLT, you could email Skytech Gaming. You could ask them, hey, I'm about to buy this. What power supplies do you guys use? If they live up to their reputation, which is a pretty good reputation right now, you could ask them what model, because that is important to you. I'm actually very curious. Actually, I'm going to send an email to them right now. White Bear says NZXT C-Series PSUs are A tier, yet I've seen many of those fail. I don't blindly trust the tier list anymore after that. Again, it's all anecdotal. My anecdotal experience, and just knowing so many other people out there, and we talk about tier lists all the time on the streams, right? The majority of power supplies out there, they don't just blow up in flames and ruin your computer parts. And yes, it's not like this is putting in a C tier, like 600 watt or something like that. You still have headroom on top of it, though. I'm very curious what all these parts would pull from the wall. If you're worried about it, I'm actually going to send an email right now to them. Do I have any questions? Actually, we're going to send it right now. Hi. And then we can revisit next week to see what they say. Or this computer. And 5080 from you guys. Supply you use. I am very worried about the quality and will only buy if I am able to know what it is, because I don't want it to start a fire or destroy the rest of the components. All right. Let's see if they come back with a response next week. Danny L. Actually, no, I'm going to use my personal email. I don't want to use my YouTube one because they might give, better customer service or something. So give me 1 second. Let me put in my personal email and we are going to send this out. Skytech's website is trash. I would say it is pretty frustrating. What tier would you consider Corsair RM850E? Those are A tier, I believe. If you guys don't know, okay, so there's two tier lists. PSU tier lists, and I don't know the whole history behind them and if there's any drama with it, because so this is the one that they started in 2021. They stopped updating it in 2023 though. I think I forget, it was April or November. Yeah, April 2023. So this was what kind of like people came to know as like the trusted source to pick which power supply. But they stopped updating it like over 2 years ago. Even though there's still a bunch of power supplies that are being sold today that you could still reference this for, but SPO is is another person, Sir Providence Law, but he's a part of multiple communities, like the cult. He is a part of the cultist community, at least their Discord server, as well as like he's in part of Zach Tech Turf's community and stuff like that. But he and a handful of other people, they went and they took it upon themselves to update the tier list. So if you go here, and I'll link this to you guys. I'll link both of them, actually. I don't know how they started this tier list. Like, there's no way they started from scratch, right? They must have used this one as a starting point. And even some of the criteria, which is what we were just talking about up there, in the tiering methodology. And I'm sure they made changes to it. But, yeah, so here's all the tiering criteria. But if you want to look at this list, you can go down and have a quick reference. I would say do not blindly just accept the tier list for what it is. If you use this to like find a couple of power supplies that are like just to make sure they're not junk, then go over to the right where they have either the notes. They usually they usually have the reviews. Or does this one not have it? But the tier list usually references what the review is for that specific unit, or you can just try to Google it. You can typically find it. This is just an all-in-one place to look for it. Okay, I want to look at Meta just because. What do you guys know much about Meta PCs? Every time I've looked at their website, their stuff seems so overpriced. Like the build fee they charge on top of just raw parts in the past, anyways. It seemed like they were charging like straight up $300-$400 build fees. Which I mean, if it works for them and people are paying it, I guess why lower the price? But full towers. So their lowest full tower starts at $1,800. But like in the past, I would see they have close to $2,000 PCs with straight up like RTX 4060s in it, which left a really bad taste in my mouth. Let's take a look at their builds. So let's look at their most. What the heck? Bro, you said starting at $1,800. Oh, okay. Let's do AMD. Configure a tower. $1,800 or yeah, $1,850. What does this get you to start with? So you get a Fantex NV5. This is what I'm talking about. You guys see this? Who? Okay, I'm not like blaming anyone, but Meta PCs never comes out of my mouth when people ask for pre-builds. And this is the reason why. Look at this build and the pricing. It's this one right here starts at almost $1,900. It's got a 5060 and a 7600X in it. This is every single time I've checked in on Meta PCs. This is the bullcrap they have. The thing is, I think Meta's like really good at advertising. They've got a YouTube channel that spits out YouTube shorts like no other. Like, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this? This does have 32 gigs of RAM, B650 motherboard, 240 AIO, 850 watt PCIe. Wait, you can edit this? It's a, they don't even, oh, they're using, no, they're not using mainly. They're using something with their own label slapped on it, it looks like. What is the most effective, what is it, most effective tactic available? That's what Meta stands for, right? What is Meta about buying this? And it only comes with a 1 terabyte Kingston NV3? Bro. I mean, I guess they're using a 850 watt PCIe. I could only assume is hopefully a quality power supply, because how else can you justify this price? My goodness. So yeah, I would say, let's see what NZXT has for their Player 3. And then we'll go look at the car batteries. And we're going to go car battery tier list on this one, guys. 5080, 3, No, doesn't look like that's gonna be it. It's looking like Skytech's got the best price, unless anyone else knows for sure a better option. Yeah, because this is a 5070 Ti for 20. Yeah, 2600 for the 5080. I think Skytech takes it, assuming their power supply isn't horrible. We're gonna go. Yes, we're gonna go car battery hunting. Okay, MS Tot or Mount Sot. This is the build right here. I would say. You can feel free to shop around, but I think this is a good baseline to start at. At $2,600, given the specs that this has, I think this is going to be one of the more competitive one. I'll get back to, I'll post in the Discord actually, if Skyforge, or Skytech, not Skyforge, Skytech gets back to me about the power supply, because that'd just be good information to know. But yeah. Best place to buy a pre-built is somebody else's used computer on Marketplace. I agree. Just because it's like buying a used car. You get a huge, hefty discount. The only thing is you don't get warranty, and if people don't take care of their PCs, like, it's kind of like with a car. If you don't know what you're looking for, bring a friend. If you can, bring a friend to look at a used PC. But that is going to be where the biggest discount is. The issue is the market varies very wildly depending on where you live. So it's hard to just be like, oh yes, let me, suggest this pre-built to you that you're looking for. It would be a whole deal hunt in its own. But okay. Car batteries. I'm very curious. What car batteries do you guys use right now? Currently, I have an Interstate from Costco. I don't know if there's many people who even care about this kind of stuff. I honestly don't care. Because again, I have a Yaris, but my car battery, basically it can't hold a charge anymore. The issue is because I've been letting it sit too much, not driving it, because we've been taking the Tesla. So I don't drive my car except to do pickups. Because driving in the Tesla is just way more comfortable in every regard. But, so I'm using an Interstate battery right now. Apparently Costco and Interstate, this is one of the more highly recommended one. The regular or the good one? Probably the regular one, if I had to guess. Probably the standard flooded, not the AGM one. I don't think I would have paid the premium for that. But it needs to be replaced. And the issue is Costco, they changed it. It used to be if you're within warranty, they would just replace the car battery. Now they do a prorated thing over the 3 years, and I'm 2.5 years into my current car battery. So basically, if I brought it in, I'm gonna have to pay almost the new price of a battery, which I forgot how much they cost. Let me see. Let's see, Group 35 Interstate battery. Let me see if I can get the pricing on here. Okay, they're not just, that's not it. That's a marine battery. Dispatcher Gaming says, I had the last 3 Interstate die before warranty. Yeah, mine is my fault. But here's where I'm getting at. And this is funny because we were just talking about power supply tier list. And I think batteries are less, I don't know, maybe you guys feel differently. I am ready to buy one of these bad boys. Right here, baby. 1 year warranty ever start. I don't remember every single car battery I've ever bought. I only remember the most recent ones that I've had for the last 5 years. It was Interstate from Costco, and that I used up to the both warranty. But those things are $150 or something. And this last one, it lasted 2.5 years. I could buy multiple of these batteries and keep them trickle charged for that price. And the thing is and we're going back to the warranty conversation, right? I could spend I think the Costco one is at least double the price of this one. I could spend double the price and get a longer warranty, or I buy this one. Let's say it lasts 1.5 years. I have to replace it. I get another one, and to me that's not a big deal. I have like a car jump, like a battery jumper thing. I'm never stranded on the side of the road because my battery is dead. So that's not the issue. But with this one, if I buy it and it, craps out after a year and a half, 2 years, it already made up for its value compared to buying the Costco one. But I've read so many testimonies of people using these and getting like 4 or 5 years out of it. In that case, it blows the value of the Costco interstate batteries out of the water. Now, they do have other ones. Don't cheap out on the battery. I don't know if I would agree with that, honestly. I don't know if you could say this is more likely to blow up and all of that kind of stuff. I don't even know if there's data out there to support that. So I think people are just going off of, oh, if I spend more money, it is going to be a safer battery. Everstart batteries, especially like the platinum one, like everything I've looked up about Walmart and Everstart, I haven't seen many bad things about them. But from what I've seen, the internals of these aren't that different. All you're doing is buying a warranty. So the platinum one has a 4-year warranty, and it's like triple the cost of this. But I don't know. Just having not had good luck with the Costco Interstate, which everyone like raved about and stuff, I figured why not try this one? If I can get 3 or 4 years out of it, boom. It's like, I think I'll be a fan for life. Just get Amazon. No, I don't think Amazon batteries are marked up. I've never bought a car battery off Amazon, but I feel like with the shipping, individual shipping of items like that, let's see, Group 35 battery. There's no way it would be cheaper. Yeah, look at this. Here's one for Group 35. I think in general they'll be more expensive, but the good thing about the Walmart one is you can just take this battery, go to your local Walmart, and swap it out for them problem free. What's up, Bertha Mac? Let me see. Yaris. Let's see. 2009 Toyota Yaris required cranking amps. 500 to 650. Is that right? I'm getting all these random numbers everywhere. Yeah, Walmart is easy. You take it back. They don't even test it. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, and that's what yes, L factors. When it comes down to it, there's like 3. It's kind of like SSDs or memory and stuff like that. It seems there's like a fixed amount of manufacturers for them that sell to all these companies that slap their labels on it. The one that was it Johnson Control or something? I think it was is what makes the Everstart ones, even though they got reacquired. I just went down the whole battery, the whole car battery rabbit hole just earlier today, and but I'm curious. Wait, let me see where. The more you pay, the more thick the lead is in it. That is true. But that's not to say that the lower price ones aren't gonna last as long. All I've ever used are cheap batteries. Those Everstart batteries last 3 to 4 years, says Aaron. See, so we're getting a lot of different opinions and what's it called? I guess experiences in the chat. I've never had an issue with my battery keyword yet. Hopefully that's not foreshadowing. I have a bike, no batteries for me. I'm guessing you mean bicycle. Lol, Danny asking crazy questions to Skytech, knowing damn well he's not buying a pre-built. I'm asking for the other people. Never start. That's so I've heard about this. They call it never start, but I've heard way more good testimonies about Everstart than I did not. Yeah, I'm not, dude. I've got a beater 2009 Toyota Yaris. I'm not buying an AGM battery. Chris is using a Duralast Gold in the Prius because it was all that could come close to fitting. Special posts. You have also Duralast Gold. Okay, let's see. I have 3 cars and there is an Everstart in every one of them. Usually get 3 years. That's all I'm expecting. Though I think now since we are driving our ice cars less, I'm gonna put a battery maintainer on it, just so this doesn't happen again. Because I sometimes I be going like a month without even starting up the car and running it and charging up the battery. So if you have low CCA, yeah, I don't leave the lights on too long though. Aaron Davis works for Johnson Controls? Wow, what a small world. Don't you guys have in the US brands like Varda? Actually, let me see. Oops. Car battery. It doesn't look like it because it would have for sure come up very quickly on the shopping results. Maybe you can get it from Amazon? Yeah, but it doesn't look like from, let's see, shopping. Varda. Yeah. I don't think that's they're really sold in the US, or at least it's not as easy to get. AGM batteries are 150. It's not that much. I know. But part of me is also curious if I can get 3 or 4 years out of this never start one like the value battery, then I think that trumps anything else's value. It's like the chip industry. There's like the I had good experience Duralast from AutoZone, but gave up in Interstate. That is Johnson Controls product sold through gas stations and big like big O'Reilly's. Man that stands on top. Got it. That's what it stands for. But I can't say that every single time, so I gotta say Mount Sot, if that's okay. The thing is, Group 35 battery is so small, it kind of doesn't matter. Yeah. I don't know, unless someone's gonna tell me this is gonna start a fire in my car, which I'm pretty confident it won't. I think I'm gonna try it. I don't know what the warranties were on my previous batteries because I've had the Interstate for my last 2, and then before that was some O'Reilly's or AutoZone one, which lasted like long enough for me to swap it without using the warranty. Gotta help the billion-dollar corporations and buy a $200 battery. The thing about a lot of this, whether it be the computer power supplies or like case fans or the battery, everyone is going to have their own personal experiences with it, which will make them either comfortable enough to use the cheap stuff or not comfortable enough to use the cheap stuff. In terms of, I don't know, do car batteries get much cheaper than $70? I'm not saying I want to go for that much. It's just based on the user testimonials that I've seen, like on forums and Reddit. The Everstart one seems like is worth trying. Give the Yaris what it deserves. The Optima yellow top. What is this? What is this? Oh my goodness. No way, Jose. I was looking for if there was LifePo 4 car batteries. But I think those are like $1,000. Group 35. Because those are supposed to last for 10 years. But, let's see. Deep cycle, Group 35. Yeah, here it is. Anti-gravity batteries. They call it this because it's so much lighter than lead acid. But, my goodness. Was there any other ones that are actually... I couldn't see for some... Yeah, look, $800. My God. If I was going to go for the premium stuff... But see, the Yaris... even though I want to keep it forever... I don't know if I would ever justify putting a close to $1,000 battery into it. Used car battery for 50 bucks. Dude, anyone selling a used car battery on Facebook Marketplace, I feel like that battery's at the end of its life already. That, I mean, I guess you could bring a tester with you and all that, but nah. Why not? Like, why bother when you can get this for 70 bucks? Well, you're right. Walmart is convenient as long as you don't mind. I don't mind changing it myself. It's so freaking easy. And there's Walmarts on every corner, so it's not that hard to switch out. But Duralast, I get 6 to 8 years where the Interstate would barely last 3. Yeah, see, multiple people not liking Interstate, so I made a mistake. Yeah, or they could just share the Aorus. I'm not gonna be modding. Get group 24 and mod it? No, 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 no. I'm not a car guy, guys. I do have a jump pack. That's why I'm willing to test this, actually. I have a jump pack, which is what I've been using the last couple of times I've been gone out on my car, because I've been needing to replace my battery for a while. I just haven't because I don't use the car enough. But now I'm like, okay, I probably should replace it, and I do have the jump pack just in case, and you know, jumpers in case I have not needed to jump from another car in many years. I've been using a jump pack for a while, for you know, when I accidentally leave the light on and the car dies. So I am aware of AGM batteries. I had what's it called? When I used to ride on my motorcycle, I got an AGM battery. Back then, even those were like what, 50 bucks? Everything's just so expensive nowadays that you have to be a little bit more conscious of like how much you're spending. And for this one, I do understand that it's a bit of a risk, right? This thing, if it dies before 1 year, I can get it replaced by Walmart, no questions asked. If it lasts 1 year and then dies a little bit afterwards, then that would have been kind of a waste of money. Not a complete waste of money because I still get a year out of it, but I've seen a lot of people say that these go longer than a year easily, so that's why I'm very tempted to do it. I always have a jump pack. Yeah, jump pack is the most convenient thing ever. Coming home from Canada one time, because at the border crossing you have to like go very slowly, and then a car in front of me died, or it, I guess, stalled or whatever, and they couldn't get it started back up. So I grabbed my jump pack, I jumped out of my car, ran up to them, I said, "Here, use this to jump your car." And then by the time I reached up to them, they had the car back up and running, and then they gave it back to me, and I felt like, you know, a good Samaritan moment there. But yeah, a jump pack is just so useful, not only for yourself, but if you see someone else that just has like a dead battery while you're out and about, you could easily help them without having to bring your car up nose to nose to, you know, put in the connectors in a certain order, start your car, it just saves you the hassle. I would say that along with a dash cam in your car, a jump pack is one of the next like crucial things that you should have. Man, they get this cheap. I'm pretty sure I spent like 60 or 70 on mine, but I've had mine for years. They've probably just gotten way cheaper or, you know, there's so much competition now, or these are just crappy ones. You would have to do your research, because again, people are comfortable with different price things. But yeah, these jump packs are amazing lifesavers. The money you save, you can get a AAA membership, bro. I don't know, no AAA. The though my car insurance already comes with a AAA like service. The thing about AAA is you're still stranded until you want to give yourself all the tools to get you out of a pinch when you're in the middle of freaking nowhere. Having a AAA membership means nothing if you're for some reason in a area with like no cell reception, which I have been in before in a pinch, or like it was pretty bad. Um, but yeah, you want to be able to be self-sufficient. AAA works if you're like on a major highway or near a city and stuff. But I'm not trying to wait on AAA to help come change my tire or to jump me if I'm, you know, an hour away from the nearest town for whatever reason. Yeah, if you, I would say unless you have like major problems, then yeah, you will need to get it towed. But when it comes to spare tire or battery dying, I wouldn't call AAA for that anyways. What's a good brand for the jump packs? I probably should have one. You should definitely have one. A good brand, I don't know. See if Project Farm made a video on one. I've been Project Farm has been like my most watched channel as of recent. Let me see if he's done one. Car jump pack. Best jump starter. Oh, look, he's made one 7 months ago. He's got plenty of these videos. So yeah. See, the thing about Project Farm's testing methodologies though is that it's not super scientific. From flats, how many have I changed in my entire life? I don't know. Probably between 5 and 10. I've gotten bad luck with flats in the past. I've had to use my spare tires on almost every single car I've had. The Tesla doesn't have a spare tire, unfortunately. So if we get a flat on that, then yeah, we're definitely having to make use of the towing service. Yeah, so the thing about Project Farm, unfortunately, is that he just does, like, you know, testing that the average Joe can do. But is not testing for, like, the longevity of the product. It's not doing, like, torture testing. I think some stuff he might torture test. But, like, in a more scientific way, you know? This is almost kind of like a first impressions look at it. But I don't think you're going to... For freaking jump starter packs, unless you're willing to pay a big premium, you're going to be kind of gambling with, like, Chinese battery packs. Yep, lots of fake capacity rating on those Chinese jump packs. I have a Chinese jump pack. Let me see if what model I have specifically. And we'll determine if it's shouldn't have lasted as long as it did. I don't even remember how I ended up buying this specific one. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is the one that I'm using. Dang, it's gone down in price. I definitely paid closer to, I think, $60 for this at the time. But this, I bought it 4 years ago. But this one, Yaber, never heard of this brand. It had good reviews at the time. It also works as a battery bank. So if your car is dead and your phone is dead, you can use this to charge your phone as well. Honestly, I don't have any advice for which one you should buy. It's kind of, in this case, look at the Amazon reviews, just make sure it's not like complete garbage out of the box. But, I don't know if there's any website or reviewers that, look into at least the cheaper ones if you're trying to save money. I'm pretty sure the more expensive ones you will find reviews on, but, I don't think I would be willing to pay like $200 for a jumper. If you've never checked your spares, there's a good chance it's flat too for you to even use it. Yeah, that's why you also carry one of those, what's it called? Cigarette lighter or battery operated. Dude, we're talking about all the car stuff today. Battery powered tire inflator. And then you're going to be like, you know what? What if you have a hole in your spare tire that you didn't know about? Well, I also carry a tire plug kit. Why do I carry these things? Is because I have been in a situation, every single situation that have required these items, I have been in the past where I did not have it. So I carry one of these. I carry the one. I don't carry one of these. I carry the one that goes in the cigarette lighter, which after I jump my car would be working. But like, yes, you want to be prepared, like, so you're not stranded with whatever could happen aside from like an engine failure. If it's completely flat, yes, it's not going to help you because you have to like, pop up onto the lip. But I don't like tires typically don't just get that completely flat. I already told you I have the equivalent of AAA through my insurance. It's provided. I'm not gonna get a AAA membership, but but my opinion still stands. I would rather prefer not to have to call AAA and wait X amount of whatever time for them to come get me. If I could do it myself and get myself up and running, I would prefer to do that. Don't you have to have a powerful jump pack? That I'm not sure about. A lot of these jump packs, they have like an overdrive mode, which I think is specifically made for that. Mine does. So like mine, let's see if this one has that button. Oh yeah, boost mode. There you go. Um, though, I mean, I think you have to try for yourself. So you probably wouldn't be able to fully test this unless you actually had like a dead battery. New cars don't need. Is it all new cars? Is that a thing? I thought it was just electric vehicles because they're trying to maximize their range. I mean, I haven't. This was the first new car I bought in. Actually, I've never bought a new car except for this car. I've only had used cars up to this point in my life. But do like new Corollas and Camrys and Civics and those not have spare tires anymore? Does Tesla have run flat tires? I believe they do. Or there are tires that can fit onto to Teslas with their at least their stock rims. And though I think I didn't look that far into it. How long can a Tesla last with moderate driving? I don't know, man. Plenty of Uber drivers and Lyft drivers have taken them like close to 200,000, if not more, miles on the original battery too. Um, but we drive very moderately. I think we're at 3,000 miles in the last 6 months driven with it. So ours should last us a long time. Hey, what's up, Ellie Joseph? Stream's been good. We first talked about PC parts, and now we're talking about automotive things. Y'all have a dash cam? We're gonna run a poll. Do you have a dash cam in your car? If you drive, assuming you drive, it's a yes or no simple answer. If you don't, what are you doing? Yeah, they definitely do not come standard with run flats. I've only seen that it's possible, but I never looked into. I didn't know it was not recommended by them. Interesting. Is it because of the weight of the car? I'm assuming with run flats because of the material makeup of it. It might be. So assuming that's a harder tire, given the weight of the car, that could mess with like the friction coefficient to the road, or its ability to stop. This is me guessing off the top of my head, but yeah. But not having a spare versus putting run flats versus putting like all season tires, I don't know. I don't leave nothing in the car, so it doesn't get. I don't. They make dash cams now that look like just straight up mirrors. So, like a camera on your dashboard, or so. Why have one? Why have one? It's so that. Have you guys not seen? What is it? New York car scam. What? Car accident scam. I mean, this was just like the first mainstream situation of it happening, but. This has been probably going on. You just need proof in case you're ever in an accident or somebody hits you or something that you are not at fault. The chances of it happening are pretty low, but for me, it's kind of weird, right? This is a very low chance of happening, but if it does happen, I know I'm not going to get screwed over it. But have you guys not seen this video? Car insurance scams is a huge thing. People go in front of you, they block you off to the side because they have a partner car, and then they slam on the brakes. And then, yeah, you technically rear-ended them, and it's like, without a dash cam, you are probably like 99.999% at fault. Because that was your fault for following too closely or whatever the heck. And there's no proof otherwise. But this person, she luckily had a dash cam. The car, so what they did was, see, they put up this cover because the person driving, I probably didn't have a license or something, and they switched people. And then they got out pretending that they were hurt, and all this was captured on dash cam. But this isn't like the only time this has ever happened. This is a huge thing. And you're probably thinking, it's not big enough. It's never happened to me. It's never happened to my friends or family. But it's one of those things where I think that if you've had enough close calls in driving for whatever reason, if you live in an area where people, you know, are crappy drivers and cut you off all the time and slam on their brakes and stuff, it's just a peace of mind to keep you protected so that you're not screwed out of, you know, not screwed with your insurance should you get into an accident. Who does that? A bunch of losers? They are a bunch of losers. I know. But there's tons of scammers and stuff. See, when it comes to scammers, people selling things, you can avoid that easily. You just don't fall for the scam. But this can be hard to avoid depending on the situation. Like, if you're just driving normally and someone cuts you off and then slams on the brake purposely, and they had a car on the side that was blocking the person from changing lanes, then you would be screwed. So yeah, all this automotive talk. Get yourself a dash cam, get yourself a jump pack, get yourself a tire plug kit if you're okay with plugging it up and change your, you know, this would be for the spare if you don't have a spare, and a tire inflator kit. They reversed into the car. Yes, they did reverse into the car. They stopped. The person didn't hit them. They shifted to reverse and then I guess front-ended them. This is like an entrapment scam. Exactly. Do you own an electric car? Yes. We do own an electric car now. I say we because it's not just my car. My wife and I both bought it together. I've been wanting to get dash cameras for a while. In reviewing them, it's hard to determine which is the best. I want one for front and rear view with minimal... Yeah, that's the only issue about the dash cams. The one that I have kind of runs on... when you plug it, it wants to run even when the car is off, so that drains the battery. I would recommend finding one that basically turns off when your car is not on. Unless you're trying to get some Sentry mode thing to keep recording, but I don't recommend that because you're going to be killing your battery way too often if you're recording while the car's off. Dash cams have also saved me from bad cops in court. Ah, yes, that too. If a cop is trying to, you know, for whatever reason, say that you're doing a thing that you shouldn't be doing, having it. Wow. Of the votes so far, more than half the people who did vote say they don't have a dash cam. Even I would say the cheapest dash cam is better than no dash cam, and they make them as low as like, you know, they go on your either your windshield or your mirror. I have a mirror one where the mirror turns into a screen, but these are like 40-50 bucks. But just having something's better than nothing. My dash cam was a Christmas gift for my wife. But yeah, I have one of these mirror ones, where the screen, when it's off, it's a mirror, but when it's on, you can like go through the settings and you can see your view and stuff like that. But yeah. See, back in the day, you would get a swift punch to the throat for doing something purposely. Well, yeah. Well, you could still give them a swift punch to the throat nowadays, but you would want your dash cam to be recording that. Or maybe you don't. You want it to be recording what they were trying and then turn it off when you punch them in the throat. Because they won't have proof of the throat punch. But there will be proof of the scam happening. Do you recommend an interior car camera? I don't have one. They do make dash cams that do record the driver's passenger seat and all that stuff. It would be useful for... The only thing I can think of is like if a cop was trying to say you were playing with your phone and you weren't, and you had the footage of you in the cabin not playing with your phone when you got pulled over. Well, what else would the interior cabin be useful for? That would be it. Like, if for some reason someone was trying to convince the court that you were distracted on your phone when the accident happened or something like that, that would be the only thing I could think about, or the use case for an interior cam. The question is, are all the scammers bund Nazi? What? Do all these scammers fund Nazi or bund Nazi? Oh, I've never. Oh no, you're right. But you meant to say bun Nazi. Okay. I don't know what the scammers have to do with. I guess what political party? Where are you getting at, Mike? The nice thing about sensor dash cams is cars parked can capture vandalism. Yeah, which is what the Tesla is very nice for. With its Sentry mode, it could detect when people are nearby and it records motion and stuff. And the thing about the Tesla is it's nice that it has a gigantic battery that it pulls from, so you don't. It's not a risk of your car dying by leaving it on. But in a typical, car like an ICE engine car with a smaller battery, that battery can be drained a lot quicker if you're recording 24/7 with your not the webcam, with the dash cam. So yeah. I recommend a dash cam that has 360 camera for the front and 360 for the back window. Yeah, so mine is it's not exactly this one, but I put a one on the rear and then one in the front has this little thing, but it doesn't capture anything inside the cabin. If only Google glasses took off, dash cams wouldn't exist. That's what Ray-Ban Metas are for, kind of. These Meta Ray-Bans are essentially like, kind of like the Google glasses, except they look cooler. We gave my brother-in-law a dash cam kit for his birthday. His car was stolen shortly after, and when it was recovered, cam was missing. Boo. Lame. I thought you were going to have a good story with this, Chris. I thought you said we gave it to him, and then it was useful right away when he got in an accident. Hey, Danny, I'm considering getting a Switch 2. Have you gotten your hands on one yet? I'm not going to get a Switch 2. I'm not a console gamer. I am going to be in the market. I still haven't done it yet. It's because I'm going to make a video out of it. I'm going to be trying to acquire a Steam Deck as my handheld device of choice. So, I need to start that video, but I've been so busy lately. I've had like no time to do anything. Streams, I'm lucky that, my in-laws, they know that I stream every week, so they have been trying to make a point to come at least on Wednesdays to allow me to stream. But yeah, no interest in Switch 2. Is the only game out for it still Mario Kart? because to me, I feel like Nintendo dropped the ball on that one. How are you gonna release a brand new system this many years later? People are so excited about this thing, and the only brand new title that you have that has never existed before is Mario Kart. I know that you have like Cyberpunk and other games that were previously not on the Switch before, but those are games that aren't new, are new. Like how do you not release more new exclusive console release titles with it? So, and then I saw the whole thing about D-Brand. People are complaining about the cover protectors that they have, and then they fall off, and then D-Brand was like not trying to take the blame for it. So I've kind of been following that drama, but yeah, at least bring F-Zero or something. I mean, come on, yeah, like at least have, I don't know, 5 new titles. They're trying to hype people up about playing Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom again on the Switch 2 when people already bought that once on the Switch 1. And, like, probably Skyrim, some other edition of Skyrim again. I don't know. It just seems like really odd to me. I feel like most consoles, when they release, have, like, more than one brand new title. When I think, oh man, so next LAN party video, I was supposed to try to get it out this month. At the rate I'm going, I haven't even looked at the footage from the April LAN yet. So I don't know if that's going to be realistic. I would like to get it out this month, but I seriously can't even, like, I'm constantly running upstairs, and I guess I can move a setup upstairs, but to work on content and make videos and stuff, you have to like get into like a rhythm and a groove. You can't just like work on it for like 10-15 minutes, have to go tend to something, come back 20-30 minutes, work on something, come like it's even been hard to release the content that I have released since the girls have been born. So the LAN video though, it's like so much editing that I don't know how I'm gonna get this done. What's up, Tony Martinez? No worries. Steam Deck is the best. And I'm probably going to try to get the lowest end model and upgrade the storage myself because I don't have much to trade for one. $500 to play Mario Kart? That's where I was saying, Robert. Your words and advice made me realize the meaning of how to work on a balanced computer assembly, says Ahmed. I'm glad I could help. Let me check my email to see if Skytech responded yet. They didn't. Okay. Oh, wait. They might have. Nope, they didn't. Okay. You act like you have kids and no time to edit content. Lol. I know, right? I'm doing that stolen valor thing of being a dad. Me acting like a dad is stolen valor. Danny will spend on battery packs, tire pumps, tire plugs, but the quality batteries where he draws the line. Well, I technically got a quality interstate battery and it has failed me. So I'm jaded to a quality car battery in decline. But no, honestly, I just want to try it. I'm more curious and intrigued at the fact of a 1-year warranty, $70 battery more than anything. Which is funny because I feel like $70 10 years ago got you like a pretty nice battery. But also the battery, for the most part, it's a disposable thing. These other things, they last you like a really long time. Technically, the car jump pack probably is disposable, but mine's running strong, so yeah. Steam Deck was destroyed on performance by the Switch 2? Yeah, but see, I don't care about Nintendo titles. I care about playing my Steam games that I've already bought on this device, right? Like, I care about playing things that I've already paid. I care about playing things that I potentially bought 10 years ago and can still play on a Steam Deck right now. Whereas the Switch, does that have backwards compatibility? To be able to play, like, GameCube stuff? Probably not unless they put it in the Nintendo store, right? So, Yeah, my reason for getting the Steam Deck isn't like the whole specs reason. It's for the library reason and the games I can play with it without having to spend more money on games. I like the Steam Deck, but for a lot of the games I play, I find our ROG Ally X to be better. Yeah, the Steam Deck is definitely, in terms of like the specs, the most lacking. But you know, it was the first out of the gate, right? Was there any other handhelds before the Steam Deck? Even like the more niche ones. I could have sworn there might have been more expensive ones from other smaller companies. But anyways, yeah, it was one of the first out of the gate. So it's like kind of old. I know they refreshed it for at least a OLED, or the LED screen. Sorry, not OLED and stuff. But yeah. Also, why don't you get some for like ROG Ally? It's gonna be my first handheld, so I don't want to jump into something that expensive. And I'm trying to trade a PC for it. I'm trying to trade a budget PC for a Steam Deck. So, and I was gonna make a video on it. So that's the main reason why. And if I do end up enjoying it and using it so much, I could probably sell it or try to trade up or do something to get a better handheld. But yeah, my first entry into having a handheld PC, essentially, I don't want to like go all out yet. GPD stuff, yeah. So I'm pretty, yeah. I thought I remembered hearing about some of these other Steam Deck competitors that actually came out before them, but I think those things were so expensive and like didn't ever get widely adopted, right? You could buy a real go kart for less than $500 and just drive around the neighborhood. Okay, that's not the same thing, Robert. Come on. Um, it is backwards compatible, but with the previous Switch only. Okay, so I can use the old Switch cartridges. And then Nintendo games are a lot better than a lot of the games on PC these days. I love Nintendo games. It's weird because I grew up. Our first console that we had was the original Nintendo, and then naturally our family ended up getting a Super Nintendo and then the N64, GameCube. That's where the last console that we had was a GameCube, and that's when I transitioned to PCs. But I've played like Zelda and Mario games and all that stuff growing up. It's just I don't know, these days I don't really care to revisit the newer ones and like check them out again. Yeah, no, for sure. It would totally be faster, but that doesn't make as fun of content. Uh, the idea is to get a Steam Deck and trade a PC to someone who wants to get on like a desktop. And I'm gonna be trading a $300 PC because I've been seeing Steam Decks in my area go for around $300. So yeah, you're right. I could probably easily sell it and then buy a Steam Deck, but I think the trade video would be more fun. If I can't get the trade to happen, then I'll probably end up just doing that. But yeah, are you gonna stream deals for Amazon Prime Day July 8th? What day is that again? Oh, that's on Tuesday. Prime Day deals. Let me see. We gotta end the stream soon because I gotta get going. It's been 2 hours. Amazon Prime Day. Prime Day 2025. Okay, so it's July 8th to 11th. So I will be streaming next Wednesday the 9th. So I should catch the second day of Prime Days. Though, if you guys, I mean, we've streamed Newegg and Amazon annual deals like this before. There's usually not that good of deals, especially for the stuff that we all care the most about, like graphics cards. I can call it now. We'll find good deals on like RAM, SSD. There's gonna be cases, fans. Probably gonna find some power supply deals. So if you need a power supply, you can grab it on the Prime Day deals. But yeah, like the CPUs that everybody wants, and the 9060 XT, for example, that just came out, or even the if you want NVIDIA cards, they usually don't take that big of a discount on those days. The sales have already begun, guys. They are good and plentiful. Take part. What? What sales? I would say Prime Day deals for computer components usually disappoint me, but Prime Day deals for like home items, like, you know, we always need disinfecting wipes and like stuff. Maybe not these ones because we got Costco for that, but just other random stuff you might need around the house. We found to be pretty good, like take pretty good discounts. Like an Instant Pot for $70. We use this for everything, including cooking our rice. How many quarts is this too? 6 quarts. Yeah, this is the exact same size as we had. We bought this for sure more than $70. So yeah, PC deals, I don't know. Like kitchen goods and stuff, pretty good. I'll probably be looking for a decent yeah, and stuff like 3D printer stuff, I'm pretty sure. A filament dryer. I left my filament sitting out for so long, it is not usable anymore. It constantly breaks while it's printing now. It's too saturated with moisture. DDR5 deals, I can say confidently there will be DDR5 memory deals. Do you know what a PC equivalent to a Steam Deck is? Pretty sure it's specs wise, like probably like an 8700G integrated graphics. Because Steam Deck runs on what, 720p and uses FSR, right? So yeah, it's essentially just like a modern APU. I would say if you're buying a dash cam, the Instagram and Facebook ad ones are typically more expensive, and they're expensive because they have like a marketing budget. But it's kind of like, I don't know, Ridge Wallet or something. If something is like highly promoted on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that, not everything that's promoted on those things are bad or like not good value, but a lot of them aren't the best value because yeah, they spend so much on marketing and sponsoring people and stuff like that. You can find the equivalent usually, like for a Ridge Wallet. Are you kidding me? No. In what world is a Ridge Wallet really worth $90 when there's equivalents out there that does the exact same thing, the exact same durability, quality for like a fifth of the price? Amazon sometimes does an extra 20% off. Wait, were you guys talking about this? What extra 20% off thing? Let's see. Is it during Prime Day? $5 cash back. I don't, you guys are messing with me. That's not a thing. Or if it was a thing, it would be front and center the day of on the product page itself. But 20% off used Amazon used items. That's also not a thing I've ever seen before. I've seen, and you talking about like Amazon Renewed? Oh wait, Amazon Renewed 20% off Prime Day. Is that a thing? While there's no specific, if we believe the AI on Amazon Renewed advertised for Prime Day, it's a common occurrence for items. I mean, what are we talking about here? All right, later, Robert. No matter what games I play, it always crash. I have to restart my PC every time. I would just keep crashing. Could be driver issues, could be hardware failing issues, could be corrupted Windows issues. The easiest thing to check is reinstalling drivers. Second easiest thing to check is to reinstall Windows after backing everything up. Third thing would be to start, well, I mean, the easiest thing would be to swap parts if you have spares. But assuming you don't have spares, and you only have your one PC and that's it, and no spare parts to diagnose and troubleshoot, then I would check those things in that order. Yeah, you can clear CMOS, reset your settings in BIOS. You can update your BIOS, see if it's an Intel system that might do the trick for stability, things like that. So last year wasn't great. Actually, the cheaper prices were yeah. The Prime Day deals you could usually find throughout the year as well, but it's just they take some of it, or they put a lot of them during Prime Day, but it's not going to be typically not going to be the best prices that you could find within a given year. So, but all right, that's going to be it for the stream, you guys. Let's see if I can get that RTX 3080 pickup video out this weekend. I'm going to try my best, but I got like zero editing done yesterday because of how crazy and hectic of a night it was. The girls just don't want to go to sleep. We are starting to reach the, hopefully people say like 6 to 8 weeks is when they transition to the next step of being able to sleep a little bit longer. We have not reached that yet. So that results in me staying up till 6 a.m. and waking up and not eating breakfast until 4 p.m. So yeah. Do I look tired? I actually don't look that tired, it looks like, but I'm slowly disintegrating. All right, guys, you guys have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend coming up. Have a great 4th. Stay safe. Don't annoy your neighbors by launching fireworks off at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. And we will reconvene next week, same time, same day as always, during the Prime Day deals. And then you can let me know how many hot dogs you ate for the 4th. Or hamburgers, or whatever else you eat. Take it easy, y'all. Have a good one.